Hey everyone, Tiffany Bethia here, the founder of the Kingdom Boss brand, where we give Christian entrepreneurs the tools to manifest and maintain massive success and significance in their life and business. And you know what, guys, today I actually want to start out by reading an excerpt from the Kingdom Boss book, and this is a shameless plug here. I hope that you've already grabbed your copy. If not, I definitely want you to do so. We've got 31 prayers, meditations in here specifically for Christian entrepreneurs who are manifesting what God has placed inside of them. I want to talk about being able to handle the word no today. So let me read to you guys from day 18, where we talk about handling no's, divine no's. It says that no is a word that many of us are sincerely afraid of. How many of you can agree to that? We are hesitant to say it, and we definitely are afraid of hearing it. The fear of hearing it keeps us from speaking up at times. The reality is, when we are told no, it can often feel like a harsh rejection. We take it personally and begin to add validation to all of our deepest fears and insecurities. We must understand, though, that the no's we receive are simply a manner of keeping us on course. They allow us not to walk through the doors that are not meant for us. No's are not an indictment on our abilities. The divine no's we receive allow us to handle the capacity to accept the divine yeses that are preordained for us. As entrepreneurs, especially, we must understand that every client and every opportunity is not for us. Let us use discernment and wisdom to receive no's with joy in anticipation of the yeses to come. How many of you can relate to that? Right? Drop me a comment below if you can relate to that and say, "Ooh, Tiffany, you're talking to me." Because here's the reality. I myself can relate. I mean, being an entrepreneur for, 10 plus years now, and especially once I became a full-time entrepreneur, hearing the word no can be such a frightening thing, guys. Just the thought of hearing no sometimes keeps us from even getting off the fence of writing that book or launching that event or putting together that program or telling people about our services because we're so afraid of the people who are going to come by, take a look at it and go, nah, it's not for me. But we've got to realize that God has already preordained every person who is assigned to you and your business. He knows who's going to need your services and the problem that you solve. He knows the people who are having that challenge. He even is awesome enough to orchestrate their path to yours. So sometimes we have to really remind ourselves that the no's that we get mean that you aren't aligned on my path. You're not someone that God has preordained my gifts to flow with yours. However, me saying no to you leaves me the room and the space to say yes when our paths do cross with the people who are pre-orchestrated. And I'll tell you guys the truth, early on in my business, this was not something that I was very aware of, and I wasn't even very cognizant of being picky about who you work with, specifically when I first started full time. Because let's be real, you're like, I need money. But I learned over time that the customers I didn't pray about, the people who I did not really believe were aligned to work with me, it wasn't even worth the money. I should have said no. And I believe that God would have brought someone else in my space that it wouldn't have been such a hassle and such a struggle. And so we've got to learn to be okay with hearing no, specifically hearing no, and knowing that everybody's not going to be for us. I know that as the founder of the Kingdom Boss brand, I am specifically for people who align their faith with their business. And so there are many entrepreneurs who will never be a good fit for my brand. And that's okay, because my clients love for me to pray with them and speak the word over them and give them scripture to stand on. That's who I'm called to. And so there are plenty of people who will see my website or see the things I'm doing and go, that's not for me. And that's okay. And the same will happen for you. Here's the last part that I want to leave you with. You heard me say this in here. One of the biggest things we've got to remember about hearing no is that when people say no, they're saying no to our service. It doesn't mean no necessarily to who we are. And it doesn't mean that we're diminished in value. We've got to really hear that, because if we can be honest, all of us have some level of insecurity, fear and nervousness about getting out there. One thing I've learned certainly is that working with entrepreneurs, it's like your baby, it's like your child. It feels so precious. And so sometimes when people reject our business, it feels like they're rejecting a part of us because it's so personal. But we've got to not take it personal and know that sometimes it's just not in alignment. It doesn't mean that your service is not incredible, and it doesn't mean that there may not be a whole flood of other people who are absolutely jumping at the chance to work with you. So don't let those no's discourage you. Don't let those no's make you believe that you don't have something of value to offer. Just remember that the no's are leaving room for the divine yeses that He's already appointed. So I hope that this encourages you. If so, I would ask you to comment, like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to giving you many more nuggets to help you along your journey to manifesting and maintaining what God has placed inside of you. And until the next video, don't forget that success and significance is not just in doing, but it's in being. God bless you.